touch upon real quick the scars, managing scars, right?
Yeah. Do we have enough time for that? Are we good?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. And
Okay.
I want to, certainly explant scars for my own. Like I said, abdominal scars, anywhere someone
All right.
has scars. I'm going to say it first because this is something we talk about a lot in our community. Breaking up scar tissue. How do you feel about it? Go.
Yeah. uh, I think that the idea of breaking up scar tissue is a terrible idea.
Okay.
So when the body lays down scar tissue, it is laying down this lattice work of collagen. You can think of it like these tiny little fibers, and there's a lot of density in those fibers, and they need circulation. Oftentimes, there is a circulation issue inside of scars. That's why they're dense, and that's why there's like a puckering look to them, or when they're pushed in. You'll have, like, especially inside of like a C-section scar, is really easy to kind of think about because it's right in the center there and goes across, and you'll see sometimes that little shelf that'll appear above it. It's like a puckering in of the scar instead of a flattening of the tissue. So
Okay. Yeah.
if you go in and you're trying to aggressively make that scar go away, you're creating more trauma for the body.
Right.
Really, what you want to be able to do is create circulation inside of that scar, so it will it'll and remodel. Remodeling means that the structure will change. So those collagenous fibers that are tight and packed together, they start to soften and loosen and lay down in a different way.
Okay.
So one of the ways I think about it is when I kind of work on it in a lot of the same ways that I do lymph. So it's a very light touch into the skin. You can take your fingers together, or you can take a finger or one finger across and lay it onto the scar itself. I think it's sometimes easier with these fingers for me. That's how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not always how it's taught, but that's how I do it. And sinking lightly into that scar,
Directly on it.
gently on it, and then just working in different directions. Sometimes you can think of it like, you go up and then you go down and then side to side, or sometimes it's better to do like maybe a slight twisting motion inside the scars. But
Okay.
this is all very light, delicate work.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that can promote more circulation than trying to really get into it.
Okay.
If you aggressively get into it, you're going to be in trouble.
Okay. What about internally? Like, so I had
Yeah.
diastasis fixed, and I was told, okay, start doing some massage. And then I went back to the surgeon and I said, well, this is what I'm doing. And I was kind of doing like a, circular motion like this with my fingertips. And he's like, well, you really need to get in there and kind of break it open. So he was like kind of going like this,
Yeah,
not
he just doesn't know what he's doing.
so but so this
I'm
is
sure he's a fantastic surgeon. He probably is not a very good manual therapist.
right. Exactly. But that's why it takes a village to treat a person,
That's
because
right. Yeah.
we really are so many systems. And so yeah, but
So internal scars and external scars, I treat the same way.
okay.
You just have to be able to palpate down to the scar. So you had what's called an abdominal plication. So that's when they take the two sides of the rectus abdominis and they stick them together and they put a stitch in there.
Right.
So right there's that thick tendon in the middle. This is like two halves of the abdomen coming together.
Mm-hmm.
There's that thick tendon in the middle called the linea alba. It's already thick and stiff. Generally, the structure is because it's a big tendon essentially that holds your rib cage to your pubic bone.
Okay.
So they sew that together, and then you can go down right through the center of your abdomen and feel where that is, feel
Right.
where that density is.
Mhm.
And if your touch is light enough, you can start gently working into it, like gently pressing into it.
Like this way?
No, just right into the scar itself.
Oh, okay.
So
And
right into
right?
the yeah.
This is
So
my belly button.
so that's your belly button, right? So just pick a spot. There you go. And don't press hard, but just sink in
Okay. And
and
just
then start to don't try to pull it apart. I just want you to work back and forth. So
uh,
from left to right.
okay.
Yep,
Okay. I can feel that. It's like still very numb and tingly like you talked about before.
right. So you can work it that way and you're going to get better results than if you try to push into it and aggressively
Okay.
do stuff.
And then just work my way all the way down, right? Doing
That's right.
okay.
And you can take each point, and you don't have to use a point as big as like all your fingertips together. You can take two fingertips or even one and just go straight into one part of the scar and go into it and then go back and forth like this and up and down. And I'm pressing harder than I normally would just so you can see it because you can see my shirt kind of wrinkle. But um, but yeah, you just press slightly in and then go back and forth like this
Okay.
and
And
up
then
and down like
that tissue kinda like it overlaps itself in different directions, and that's why you wanna go in different directions, correct?
that's right, because you're trying to get the body to circulate in those different directions and open up pathways in those different directions.
Okay,
When
great.
you because when you have surgery, your lymph reroutes anyway because of the surgery.
Yeah.
So it has a general pathway, then it has its new pathway
Great.
after
So
you have surgery, and then it re-educates itself and then goes back to where it hopefully it did to begin with.
hopefully, but I'm not so convinced with my body. I feel like after 7 surgeries, it's all like
It doesn't always, but that's not always a bad thing either, because your body has to find a new way to do something. After
right,
your physiology has changed, your tissues are smarter than you are. They know what they're supposed to do. So sometimes they're trying to do something they can't.
right.
I had a woman who she had a um, a breast surgery, and from right here, it was a breast reduction surgery. From
Okay.
right here, this just from right here was having a hard time getting up to this part of the body. So it's just a small, a small 8 or 9 inches. So what the body did was it rerouted that lymph all the way around the back
Wow.
to the other axillary, to the other armpit.
Wow, isn't that crazy?
And as soon as we started working on the lymph to try to get it to circulate, she could feel it right in the middle of her shoulder blades, right where she always had a pain that she couldn't get to resolve. So
Mhm.
she had that surgery. So there was a lymphatic pathway that was going through that was causing some pressure inside of the vertebra in between her shoulder blades because
Right.
of lymph that was rerouting.
Okay, wow.
So not all this stuff you can do yourself. Sometimes you gotta go to somebody.
Yeah, yeah, of
You
course. I
you
know.
know?
I know. Just learning all of this, I'm thinking, gosh, it'd just be really nice to have someone else, kind of looking at you. But so this is not in what is the word I'm looking for? Don't do this instead of going to see somebody. See if you can
That's
find
right.
but this
Find somebody who knows what they're doing. I mean,
right,
it's hard to gauge, but if somebody's a lymphatic drainage therapist, you can assume they probably know what they're doing. If you go to one and you don't feel like it did you any good, maybe it just wasn't a good fit and you need to go to somebody else. You know, so it's
right.
just like going to anything,
I was gonna say that's true for anybody you go see, a hairdresser, a doctor, a
Right.
holistic practitioner, doesn't matter. So, okay, so before we end on scars, so I have my explant scar here,
Mhm.
and um, so along that scar, now mine is 2 years old, so it's not, you probably can't even really see it anymore. I'm debating on whether I should just show you. Um, But and so I would do like 2 fingers, or how would I work that scar along this way?
So what I would do is I would do the same thing that I was showing you for your internal scar. So I
Okay,
would take I would you could probably be easier if you took just your long finger because it'd be easier just mechanically for you to do and put it under where right on top of where that scar is
okay,
and let the finger sink into that scar
okay,
and really get in touch with it. You might have you like it wouldn't be unusual for you to even like have feel emotional from it
okay. Yeah,
because you got to reassociate yourself with these parts of your body.
yeah, yeah, and parts, like you said, that you disassociate with because this I relate to trauma, pain,
That's right.
hurt, emotional hurt, physical hurt. So yeah, you detach yourself. I could totally see that from that area of your body. So
Yeah, yeah. So you just go long like that, and then I want you to just sink in, and I want you to go up while you're still holding the scar with your finger,
mhm,
and then go down. There you go, up and down, and then you can pull that towards, the center,
mhm,
and then pull that towards the armpit or towards your side,
right.
right? So, and you want to stay in contact. So if you see my finger right here, so what
Mhm.
I'm asking you to do is you're going to sink your finger in and you're going to pull it this way and then pull it that way and then pull it this way and then pull it this way.
Right. So you're going in all directions again.
You are, but I still see how I'm maintaining contact. So
Right.
I don't like doing this. So I'm sinking in and then I'm pulling back.
That's so weird. I can feel it moving over my scar even after 2 years.
Yeah, I'll have folks who they'll be in their 70s from a hysterectomy when they were 40 and were working on their knee pain through their hysterectomy scar. So the way these things end up manifesting in the body can be quite puzzling and quite like, oh, I had no idea that scar was connected to the numbness in the front of my legs, or whatever it is.
Right. Okay. So yeah, so even at 2 years post explant, I plan on doing that as well because I think that
Yeah.
just the reconnection, the mind body connection is such a strong connection.
If
So
you were 10 years post explant, it
yeah,
could still be very useful.
that's great. Okay. Tom, you're the best. Thank you.
Oh, stop it. I'm just glad to help you guys
No, we
or
appreciate
anybody who needs help.
so much. So, okay, last thing before we end is the dry brush. So
Okay,
this is
yeah, yeah.
something that is mentioned a lot in our community, dry
Uh-huh.
brushing. Um, so just a couple thoughts on it, and if you do recommend that people could, it's something that they could or should do, how to do it.
Okay, so I think dry brushing is totally fine. Uh, I think that some things are better for hand work. Like, it's gonna be hard to dry brush opening this up
Yeah.
and hard to dry brush opening this up. But one of the things that dry brushing can do is that it can kinda take away some of the tactile sensation that you would need to have with your hand to be able to drag across the skin.
Okay.
So you can take the brush and do the work with it.
Okay.
But I think you know if you feel like it's better for you to do the dry brush, then go ahead and do it. But I think that kind of reconnecting to your body with your hand
Hmm.
is also can be super positive. So, try it both ways and see how you feel. Dry brushing isn't like a super expensive thing, so it's not like some sort of risky, investment. It's like what, $10 to maybe get one of those
I got
brushes.
it on sale at Marshall's for $4.
What? Yeah, Marshalls. So, so when you're brushing, brush the skin, and you're getting those
Like the
those
receptors.
bristles are kind of going into the skin, and you want
Mhm.
to make sure that you release and come back. So you don't scrub.
Right. Okay.
You know
You
what I
just
mean?
go one direction.
So you kind of go one direction because that's the direction it goes, and you would go the other direction. You go towards
Oh,
your
leave
right.
it to me to go the wrong way.
Well, maybe I was demoing it the wrong way. But you would go this way.
It doesn't even matter. I would go the wrong way anyway.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm terrible at directions. Okay. So, so I would say, and I would agree with that. This is much more personal than this.
Yes.
Having done this with you now and having, just kind of done this in the past, this feels very impersonal to me. And I don't feel like it would help the mind body connection at all, or reconnecting with these areas of our body that are so important that we've neglected, or that have been traumatized in some way. So
Can I
I would,
say one more thing about that? So yeah, the trauma piece is really important. So the autonomic nervous system, I promise this will only take a minute. So the autonomic nervous system is in charge of the lymphatic system. And the autonomic nervous system is what is most affected inside of trauma. So sometimes you can have a traumatic issue that will cause a lymphatic issue. So it's not always a physical trauma.
okay.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you can have the feeling of trauma, which is trauma,
Hmm.
you know, and also it can affect how your body works. It can affect how the lymphatic system works because that is the lymphatic system is controlled by that system.
That makes a lot of sense, for sure.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that hopefully that makes sense to somebody.
I think that's really important to know. We talk about trauma a lot, especially in our community, but everybody has trauma. Everybody has a story. Everybody has been through something.
That's right.
And if we think that it's not affecting our bodies physically, we're sadly mistaken, right?
That's
So,
right. Our perception of the environment is very important to how our body functions. If you're sitting in your car and you feel like you're being chased, your body is acting like it's being chased. It may be, and you're not being chased. I say sitting in your car because a lot of people are like in traffic going, ah,
right.
not that there's a lot of traffic on the roads right now, but
Yeah.
when there was,
Yeah. Right. That's
right,
one positive thing for now.
right.
So, all right, Tom, I can't thank you enough. Anything else you want to touch on or say before we go?
Nope. Just check out, uh, if you have a practitioner that you like to work with and you want them to know more about this, or breast implant illness or breast implant health, check out the Breast Implant Health Summit. It's October 23rd through 25th. If you can see a little scrolling thing down there at the bottom.
Yes, you can
Uh,
register at breastimplanthealthsummit.com.
that's right. Take a look at that. And if you need to contact me, if you have any questions, you can look at Bodyworker Tom on Instagram and DM me, and I'll hopefully maybe I can help you find somebody in your area who can work, or just at least give you the right Google search terms to look for.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tom, for everything that you do for our community, for being part of the upcoming summit. I can't wait to hear you and all of the other practitioners. I mean, I'm a little starstruck with the whole Ben Lynch. He's one of my favorites.
Totally not.
So many. Danielle, like I said, Danielle and Terry have put their heart and soul into this. And there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are doing things to make this possible. So
That's
thank you
right.
for being part of that. And thank you for what you do. And everybody, thanks for watching. I'm going to be back again tomorrow with talking about safe products. So what to look for in your products. And all right, you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Tom, stay with me for after. We'll chat for a few minutes behind the scenes. And bye, guys. Thank you
Take
so
care,
much.
everybody.